Your network is your net worth. I mean, we've all heard that before, but it's especially true when it comes to notaries, because if you think in Michigan alone, there's over 100,000 notaries. That doesn't mean that they're all mobile notaries or notary signing agents, but the notaries that have built up a network within the industry are going to be our busy notaries, the high performing notaries, the notaries that see the higher, annual income or even just individual signing fee, because they have networked and they have used their networking to build relationships with their desired clients.
Hi, Anna. How are you?
Hello, it's so nice to see you, Susie. Thank you for having me.
You are such an expert out there when it comes to marketing. And now that you've been a notary for several years, you've focused all of those marketing efforts on your notary business and also helping others build their notary businesses. And I want to congratulate you, over 100,000 followers on TikTok.
Thank you so much. Such
That's
a big milestone.
incredible.
I've been posting consistently on TikTok multiple times a day for almost 2 years. So it's really cool to see the community grow. And I feel like we're very niched and close knit, and it's just really supportive. There isn't a lot, if any, negativity. It's just a very
Oh,
uplifting, positive community with
that's my
Notary. I
favorite
love
part of
it.
that. Yeah, wow. Speaking of, I want to start from the beginning because marketing has so many more connotations than it used to out in the world. And so, can we just start by, I want to ask you, in your opinion, like, how would you define marketing? What does it mean to you? What does it mean for someone's business? And how has it changed over the years?
Right, that's a great question. Essentially, there are so many different types of marketing, one, but essentially the point in marketing is to drive leads or to get views somewhere. This could be to your business, this could be to a new service you're offering, to a new part of your online presence that you've launched, to a new post that you've made, a new service you're offering, a new service area. But essentially, the point in marketing is to drive leads somewhere to eventually convert the customer.
Okay.
So that's why you can pick really any form of marketing that you like. Some people only like in-person marketing. Some people only like phone calls. Some people only like social media or email marketing. And so I think that that's what's important to consider, is that the point in marketing is to drive leads somewhere. So, and to always remember that marketing and networking are similar and they do coincide with each other, but they are two different things. So I think that's important to consider as well.
Can you speak to how networking and marketing are different and why both efforts are important?
Yeah, absolutely. Your network is your net worth. I mean, we've all heard that before, but it's especially true when it comes to notaries, because if you think in Michigan alone, there's over 100,000 notaries. That doesn't mean that they're all mobile notaries or notary signing agents, but the notaries that have built up a network within the industry are going to be our busy notaries, the high performing notaries, the notaries that see the higher, annual income or even just individual signing fee, because they have networked and they have used their networking to build relationships with their desired clients instead of just marketing to them, because they do go together. They do go together. But with marketing, you're just driving leads somewhere. And sometimes when people only market, it starts to appear salesy. But when you bring them together and you focus on networking, which would be our relationship building and marketing, that's where, the pyramid starts to fill up and you start to see a difference because you're doing the two together. You're relationship building, but you're also introducing your relationships to the services you offer and how you can bring them value.
Wow. Okay. And I love that because relationship is really key here. Like when it comes to the network part, like the point is to connect with people,
Right.
let them get to know you and trust you, because
Right.
at that point then marketing comes a little easier because they
Absolutely.
want what you have.
Right. And you're more comfortable to talk about it. You're more comfortable to market to them because you've started to build a relationship with them. You've started to already show them how you can bring value, especially in notary. It's such a face-to-face job whether it's face-to-face in person or it's face-to-face virtually, it's a face-to-face job. So eventually you're going to come face to face with your desired client. So by networking with them ahead of time or after the session, it's easier to market to them as well. So they definitely go together, in my opinion.
That's a really kind of cool thing about social media is the fact that it can build in the networking and the marketing all in one.
Totally. Social media marketing is my favorite way to market my business. People have seen me do it for years. I've talked about bringing in clients from social media. A huge portion, I would say more than 70% of my direct clientele found me through TikTok, through my Go With Me to Appointments playlist. So I just film myself going to appointments, small details, because there's not a ton that I can share about each appointment, but
Right.
you can see the drive time, how many pages I've had to print, what I wore. And so then my client who's just scrolling on TikTok is able to see me dressed as a professional, handling a closing professionally, knowledgeable about notary. And so often I just get an email or a message through my link or through my website, and they say, "Hey, I saw you on TikTok. I would really like to use you for a closing. Are you available now? Or can you email your credentials here?" So social media definitely in today's day and age is just the number one organic way to build a business and market a business. And also it's free. So that's really important to think about. If you do a postcard campaign, you're going to pay around $1 per view. Social media, you can go live for 30 minutes and get upwards of 1,000 views or impressions on your business. It's just so powerful. I love social media. It's so good for relationship building in today's digital age.
You seem like the kind of person who isn't afraid to ask questions and admit that you're still learning or that, so can you speak to that?
Totally. It
Okay.
has actually made me stand out multiple times. One of my title companies that I have brought on first noticed that I asked a question. So I was at the signing and I had to call the escrow officer and ask a question. And it was the closing manager was on the other side of the signing. She was the buyer side. And she said to me, "Wow, that must be how you learned how to do this the right way. Because you really were standing out to me as a contract closer. Because sometimes we never know who we're going to get on the other side." And just said, you were standing out to me. And I'm so happy that you are comfortable to ask questions. Could I get a business card? Of course.
Wow.
But definitely, I've said multiple times, you never want to be the smartest person in the room. You never want to be a know-it-all because that's not the point in life. The point in life is to continue learning, to continue getting better. Every time that I go to a seminar, every time that I host a guest speaker in my mentor program, every single time I'm always having my notebook out so that I can write down different things that I learned because you're never done. You can read every book in the library and you still would have no idea what's all out there to learn. So I'll ask questions. I'm not afraid to gain clarity, for sure.